Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to do the last two inside pages of our art journal that we made out of a little kid's cardboard book. So I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, this is our cardboard book. These are the last two inside pages. If you'll remember when we did this girl with the embroidery floss hair, her hair, I needed to stop her hair closer to the spine than I did. Or farther away from the spine, excuse me. Should have stopped it, maybe this far away from the spine, and then I'd be able to close it, but I didn't. So now I've got a gap. So my friend Sherry, when she gets this book, she's going to have to always show it with that girl hanging out. Anyway, I went online a while ago and I found this free printable, and I'll make sure I put it down below. It's under coloringpagesprintable.com, but I'll make sure to put that link down below. There's a whole big, long link. Anyway, so I just printed out on regular copy paper because we're going to color it with water-based markers, and then we're going to tear it and put it in our book, and hopefully it's going to work well. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but we're hoping it does. These are Arteza's twin markers. I don't know. Twin. I've gone over this 100 times. I still don't know how to say it, so I'm just going to keep saying it wrong every time. And they're great because they have two tips and there are a ton of colors, especially if you like coloring flowers, which I do. And so I thought what we'd start with today is this tray and maybe work our way into the purples, because purples are fun. I'm going to have Rich fast forward version because I don't think you're going to really watch me do this slow-mo. Here's the plan. I'm going to give you the colors I've got out just in case you ever want to play like this. This is hot pink, blush pink, and fuchsia. Then in the oranges, I have peach and orange. In the purples, I have royal purple and lavender. In the reds, I have burgundy, ruby red, and rose red. In the greens, I have a secret one right here. Apple green, olive green, sage green. And then I like to put a little bit of this yellow ochre in my leaves. And then this yellowish color, it's cantaloupe orange. I'm going to use that for some highlighting. And then, of course, I have butterflies, so I'll be doing them later. But I'm going to start first with the center one that I think that's a violet. And for me, violets are lavender and dark purple. Before I go any further, I want to get some acrylic paints and paint my background because I want this to be all one color. And let me grab one of those. I'll be back. I wasn't sure. I really like this PBO. It's a really glittery paint. I'm going to see what a light coat of it will do. We don't want to have a really deep color in the background. So what I'm going to try and do is just get that much to do the whole background, hopefully. If it's still too much, we'll take it off. But my goal here is to just have enough of a color that when I do the background, or when I rip the paper and put it down, you'll be able to see the background color, but it's not going to overtake the images. I'm almost dry brushing this. I don't know if you can see that. I'm probably out of frame, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't put so much on here that we end up with gobs of paint where we don't want it. And I'd already used a spray gesso. It's an aerosol. Ooh, almost got that on my picture. And let me tell you, I love that stuff. It makes gessoing so fun and simple. You just spray it and there you go. You're good to go. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. I know it was hard work, wasn't it? And if I get green in the back, it doesn't matter because I'm not done with the back yet. Oh, lucky. Let that dry. Go back to coloring our image in. Okay. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed all the bruises I have. Here's a really bad one on the back of my arm. You probably think, and there's a bad one there. Usually I have one here for some reason. I had my annual physical and my doctor said, oh, no, that's just you getting older. Your skin is just getting weaker and breaking down. Oh, thanks for that. That's just what I wanted to hear. I don't know about the rest of you, but the one thing in life you want to hear is you're getting old and your skin's breaking down. Why don't you just call me a mummy or something? Jeepers creepers. Anyway, so if you're wondering about my bruises, now you know. Sanity's got bruises because she's old. Well, the camera went out. Unfortunately, I started doing the background in this color, which is spearmint blue. So I'm almost finished. I just need to finish the rest of the interior of the coloring, and then we're done. And then we'll be ready to make sure it's really super dry. I might add a piece of deli paper to the back of it, glue it to the whole piece, because then it won't, once I put glue on it, it won't, the other color from the background won't seep through. My big concern at this point is that that green that we painted the background will seep into this, and I don't, after we've done all this coloring, you don't want that to happen. If you know what I mean. Okay, so I took some of this tacky, repositionable tacky spray by Aleene's, and I sprayed on some deli paper, and I think most of it is adhered, but what I wanted to do is take kind of a bone folder and just make sure that these two pieces are stuck together as one. And if they aren't stuck together as one, they're gonna, this process that I made up myself is not gonna work. Now I'm gonna take my drying tool and dry it again. So now I have a white gel pen, and I'm just gonna go around inside these little spots on the butterfly. I think it makes them stand out a little bit more. Maybe I'm crazy. and then you wipe it, and so it's not that smeary, you don't have the ink lines. And it turns like a gray color to me, and I just think it kind of just sets off those little spots on the butterfly. I don't know if these will work or not, but these are paint over pens from Jane Davenport, and I'm thinking about using them. Let's try on the orange background. See if we can get some cool look with this. I'm not sure if I want it or not, but we're going to give it a whirl. Again, it's not that super bright. And I have a purple one. I guess I could use that on the red. I could use it on the purple one too. Let me see what it looks like on red. We'll try one down here that's kind of hidden. Oh, it's purple, but it's not horrifically purple. Well, I think I've highlighted it as much as I want to highlight it. I don't want it to go over the top crazy. I know you probably are going, stop, it's horrible. That's what I'd be saying if I was you. Okay, now we're going to get to the fun part. I have Collage Page in matte. The first thing I'm going to tell you is you're going to want to rip this, and you're going to keep each strip in order. So the very first rip, I'm going to take this edge off, and I think you remember me saying I'm not sure if I'm going to end up with this pink that was on this edge, and you don't want it to be completely straight, but I want to get rid of this border. Okay, then we're going to get our book that's dry and green and really metallic, and our Collage Page. And we're going to put Collage Page on the pieces as we lay them. And we're not laying them directly by each other. But I am going to cut out this piece so that I have that edge, but not the line, because I don't like that line. First things first, I'm going to get another piece of deli paper just to use as my glue holder, because you know I'm going to make a big mess with glue. Oh, and it's Collage Page Matte. If I didn't say that, I got it at Hobby Lobby. I really like this because you can squirt it out the top. You know how most Mod Podges, you just have that big opening and you have to deal with that, and I don't like to do that. So if I can just squirt it out a little bit at a time and not have to try and get that lid off. You know how you get that lid that just won't open after you've used your Mod Podge for once. Use it once and that's it. You're stuck the rest of your life. You've got that problem. Okay. I'm going to put this right on this edge like that. If we have to cut it off later on the sides or the bottom or whatever, don't worry, we can do that. And if it rips, just add a little of the Collage Page over it. Try saying that 5 times fast. Collage Page. Okay. Make sure your ends are well glued down. I'm going to get a little pile of glue right here on my deli paper, so that if I need a little drippy, like right there, I need a little bit. Okay, a little bit right there. All right, next rip. Your rips can be as big or as little as you want them to be, but I recommend that they are not like, don't try and have a really pretty rip, because a really pretty rip isn't going to help you with this. You want a rip, you know what I mean? And then when you put it down, this is why I put this piece in, so you can see this. You want to line it up with your last strip, so that when you have it, when you look at it, the gaps kind of fall away, because there's a consistency there. Boy, I hope that made sense. It sounded kind of crazy when I said it. Now, Before you lay it down in place, you want to make sure you've got it lined up with your previous piece. And then you're going to try not to do what I'm doing, and I'm getting marker all over the place. And I don't want to get marker all over the place, but you know how that goes. I do anyway. Keep making sure that your edges are glued down. This piece doesn't matter as much because it's going to be harder to follow it, but I am going to make it as close as I can to that center. There. Of course, I wasn't sure exactly how to space these, so because I didn't want to run out of pieces before I got to the end, so I think I'm going to have a little bit of extra on this side, so it's not going to be spaced as well as I would have liked, but you know, you do the best you can. I would have liked to space them more like that, but I didn't, so these things happen. Let's see if I can slide this piece more angled toward its buddy. I do have a plan for in between, and I hope it works, but if it doesn't, you'll know when you'll know when I cry. That is probably how far away I would have liked to have had them. But as in all things, it doesn't always go the way you hope for, you know? So this side, space-wise, is better than this side, but like I said, I have a plan for fixing it once it's dry. So what we're going to do, it's evening now, and what my plan is I'm going to check all my edges, and then once I'm sure everything's glued down, I'm going to let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow, ooh, that's way too much glue, and then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll go on to plan B or D or whatever we're at now, because you know, I've always got to come up with another idea to fix the things that go wrong. I decided that this side is way too far apart, and this side is not so far apart, but regardless, I'm going to use a warm gray number 2, and it's a light color, and what my goal is I'm going to do it over here so you can see it. I already did it once, but I'm hoping that you can see it a little bit better. What I'm doing is adding a little bit of alcohol marker between, but right on the edge of the paper. And what this is going to do is it's going to make the rip look like there's a little bit more paper, and so it's going to make it so that you feel the images are more connected. You know, it feels like they're closer together. That's what I'm thinking. Try my Artezas, and they don't use the warm gray / cool gray colors. They just use names, and this one is cloudy gray. Let's see if it's not too dark. I don't want it to be super dark. I just want it to be dark enough that we have a little bit of a border. So that's where we stand right now. I do think that that these lines have made it look like the ripped paper is closer together. That was my goal, as you know. So then I'm going to grab my sentiments. It's a vellum quote stack. And these are big. This one's nice. How beautiful a day can be when friendship touches it. So when I originally laid this down, on the far right side, I had the edge of my paper, and so on this side, on the bend, right there, I didn't have any paper, and it looked weird. So what I did was, after everything dried, I cut off from the back. You flip it over, you do this. You take it from the back and you trim it, and that's how you get as clean of an edge as you can. Then what I did was I took any piece that looked like it would match up with this, and then I glued it on, and I glued on all of these pieces. So if you're thinking to yourself, these really matched up well, it wasn't hard. All I did was I took a similar color, a similar look, and I just added it in, because this side doesn't really matter for the matching up, because this edge is what matches with this flower. You know, you need this to match with this flower. You need this to match with this leaf. But I didn't like the look of this being unfinished, so that's what I did, is I just added it in. Now, if you think your pieces are too far apart, and if you can make it work, you might be able to, you know, add something to make these get closer to each other. But I decided that was too much work, and I wasn't going to do that. I decided instead what I was going to do is do the words. So that's my plan. Is this the greatest art journal page of all time? No, not really. But it made me happy because it turned out okay. And that's the best you can ask for. If it turns out okay for you and you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Now, this quote starts out, "How beautiful a day can be when friendship touches it." Now, my concern, again, is about this can be when friendship, you know, the word friendship is kind of tricky. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do, which I didn't want to do, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. I think I'm just going to cut on this half and make this part of it as short as the rest of my images are. I think I might cut some of these apart a little bit. Okay. I have one more sentiment that I think I'm going to put in here. It says, "The only way to have a friend is to be one." And I think I could fit that in those, but I'm going the other direction with those. I'm not crazy about this one, to be honest with you, but I wasn't sure how to make it the way I wanted it. One more little squirt, and then I'm going to go over the rest of them to make sure that they're laying down. Because of course it's always the last one that's going, "Oh, I'm not going to lay there. I'm not going to stick down. Why would I stick down? That'd be stupid." So then the only thing else I wanted to do, as I said, is I might want to put in some, I might want to glue down some diamonds. If you've never bought any of these things that you can get at the Dollar Tree that are, some of them are, that are little diamondy things that you can put on your nails, well, that's something that I think is kind of a fun idea. And I just played with this Martha Stewart glue with this, put this tip on it, and I want to see if it works, so we're going to try that too. And I'm going to use, from this box, I'm going to use some purple and some red, and I think that's it for right now. And I have a bunch of the pickup tools, but I think I'm going to use this one that's got the gluey sticky stuff on the end. It's sticky on the end, and you can put them down. I'm just going to dump a few of each, or a lot of each, whatever I come up with. Okay. Then I'm just going to see if I can get this glue to come out, and if I can, things are really looking up for us, because I'm terrible with these glue tips. This one is no exception. This one, on the other hand, did work, and I'm going to make a video showing you how I made this thing, because I always lose those stupid needles. I don't know about the rest of you, but I always lose them. I'm just going to put little drops of glue around on this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on and build my colors the whole way down the page, and I'm just going to fast forward so you don't have to, endure it. So here it is finished. It's got a lot of bling on it, and I'm really happy with it now. Anytime I have a lot of diamond-y things going on, I'm a happy girl. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media because I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.